20,000 people are buying that song, you are likely to be considered into the top 10. It depends on who is on the number one is leading you back. But then you need the average of $20,000. How many of us here will have friends who have subscribed to Spotify to stream our songs? Even audio man cry the 7 Ghana cities. People are failing to do it. So it's always about okay, I'll do it for the exposure. I'll do it for the fans. I'll do it for the trends. Rather than, how about build a sound? I'll use Asaka as, a yardstick or a benchmark again. Shout out to MC Portfolio. He was one of the very, vocal people,
the front runners, yes,
during the emergence of Asaka. Now, Asaka is 5 years this year, if you don't know. What started as a side project or a passion project for these gentlemen transitioned into a full-blown business overnight, and they had to adjust. Mind you, Asaka boys, as we know them, and I work with Asaka boys now, so I am trying to give inside knowledge. Asaka boys, as we know now, never had an idea for a PR person. You see what MC Portfolio was doing online? Someone shaped the narrative. Like, the Accra people are trying to, water this Asaka thing down. Why? Look at what we did to luxury. You remember sad boys in the house? Okay, they are bounced. That video that came to trend during COVID. It was supposed to be a troll. But around that time, Asaka had already, planted the seeds in the minds of people to not only look out for the newer sounds, but also readjust to the content they want to connect with. As it stands now, through the emergence of Asaka, there has been over 30 new acts, locally and overseas, to the extent that even Ghanaians living abroad are tapping into their madness. You get what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, if this is not seen as a venture where and you may never be the school fees, may rent, the health insurance, because it's literally like waking up and going to your 9 to 5 as a musician, as a producer, as a video director, as a creative director, as a copywriter, as a blogger, as a vlogger. Anything you do in contribution to this creative art space, there is a piece of the pie for you. It's best for you not to sell yourself cheap. I mean, before we came in here, I was speaking to you about Ghana Boy. When Ghana Boy was first introduced to me, it was through a friend. And we were like, cool, let's push Ghana Boy. When I saw him, he was very passionate about his songs. That is when structures start to play. So I'll always say this. For me, I wouldn't be doing more of the practical and day and life analogies. I'll bring you into the real business context for you to get it. Because where is Shani now, you might meet it tomorrow. Most artists don't even understand certain terms. For instance, when you are in a studio with Kendi, I'm using Kendi because the pedigree of a producer Kendi is, he has experience. He has knowledge on certain things an artist may. I feel like the criteria for choosing managers here in Ghana should change. Or your down, or your bra, or your senior man. He doesn't qualify to be a manager. When somebody is managing you as a talent, it's not just about a nominal one. It's about the business structures and the strategies we tend to implement to make your brand successful. I'm going to be very honest with you. Without radio, some artists or certain artists will be handicapped. Without TikTok now, certain artists will be handicapped. Without the right producers, certain artists will be handicapped. But how do you bring all these things into one pool and select them according to your strengths? So now we have the problem of artists seeing everything and liking everything and not knowing how to go about achieving it. Why? Because we fail to understand that most of the various things we see online or out there procedural, like it takes time. I have a very long-standing relationship with MC Portfolio, and it might cut me the slack of having to pay him X amount of cedis when I'm trying to pitch an artist to him. But maybe if your manager reaches out to him and he listens to him, the first 2 lines, he will come on here. So I'm on budget, I'm on the rate card. And when me and say time crunches him, yeah, your artist might be very talented, your song might be so good. And let me correct this. Most artists or management like to say this a lot. Oh, today you don't want to help the artist. Oh, he go blow, we go see, we go meet at the top. Of course, I want you to meet me at the top. That's why I'm not trying to also sell for you for free.
So it all comes together as being part of the business.
Business, me understand. But the end you won't be artist, you are uploading a song, and we'll get to that. You are uploading a song, and your metadata is incorrect. And when I say metadata, it's the details on whoever contributed in making the song. What uploading aka Bone Shaker, but then your producer, the DNM. How do you want that producer to get paid? Because whenever we are saying, oh, and our artists, we have a producer, we see, and that's our first Canadian now, they fail to key in the right data. There was a similar case last year, the case got rolled out of court. So 2 producers worked on Tireless Water. Maybe you see that song? Yeah. 2 of the producers on that song are from Ghana. Yes. One of them chose to take an upfront. And as Ghana man as he is, all just zero same contracts even train. So he took the money, signed the contract, the song came out, went on to become very successful, went on to win a Grammy, and then he began to realize that I wasn't credited. Even with him, man is credited. Meanwhile, his documents were saying, yo, Charlie, whenever you look through the documents, it's only arguing from the fact that they told him they'll be paying him quarterly with the royalties for I think 5 years. But then he took an upfront of $150,000 and $150,000. If a dollars is in sounded very normal. $100,000 is the equivalent of 1 million Ghana cedis, which is 10 billion. It's Ghana 15 billion. Actually, one share contract. Went ahead, released the song won the Grammy. Now the Grammy acknowledgement, abono. The Grammy recognition, abono. At the same time, he has sold himself short. And only that your Numpuaji Sikano. So how much more you the guys here who goes to the studio and you are like, oh, Charlie, so what changes from giving Kendi 50% of your song? Because the music business says producers or composers own 50% of the composition, period. It's a basic rule. And right now, like any music lawyer or any learned person in this music business will tell you, and look now, the artist on the song is called a performer. That is why when they are signing an artist to a label, we sign you and your pseudonym. Your pseudonym is your stage name. Your friend is Frempong, yes, but then my pseudonym is MC Bernardton. MC Bernardton will be taking performance royalties from the DSPs, and then Frempong will be taking publishing or composition, like a compositional royalties from the publishing side, because that shows that I own that composition. Most artists don't own their compositions. It's now called writer's credits now, your writer's basis. Now artists now cast on the wall. These things need to be well spelled out to these artists, because you can't just walk into a place and choose to do things your way because you don't know. Ignorance of the law is never a plea.
True. So I'm thinking, if we are to expatiate on all of the things we need to know about the music business, it actually involves a lot, which we can't exhaust here. But basically, since we are here and we are part of this very conversation, we are creating an opportunity for individuals to also reach out and create that connect with you So I beg of you, of everything that we are saying, again, I reiterate that you take note, and for everything explanation that you also would need to just come back for that very explanation. I think after the conversation, we'll also open the floor for other individuals to ask the question and get clarity on all of the things. Now, for what Benetton has said, he has actually spoken about the finances of certain artists. Now, it brings me to this very, very question I want to find out. Artists are releasing songs on the DSPs all of the time, but they are still struggling financially. What are they losing out on the business aspect of it, Mr. Bones?
Okay, so there is a bit of an element of some not knowing actually how they could make money off their intellectual property. Now, musicians need to move beyond just streaming. Let me say this. Now, the typical Ghanaian artists want to have streaming numbers, and that has become the new normal. That as a creative, like you need to go viral. As a creative, like you need to have that thing. It's good because in the orange economy, virality has become something that most of us are chasing. But in real lifetime situation, it's not only about the views, but it's about understanding beyond the views. Now, creating money beyond the streams is very essential, and it depends on what you do before you went viral. In the past, everybody was preaching about seeking or getting the attention. That is where we go into the views, we go into the likes. That was the attention economy. Now, when it comes to the creators economy and that the attention economy, actually moved from the attention economy to the intention economy. Now, with the intention economy, it's no longer just about the numbers, the views, but it's about action. So now, after going viral, or maybe I have this video which went viral, a friend of mine posted it. We came to the Kumasi City Mall here. We went to one of the shops around, and there was this product that they tagged the price, 1.99 pound, and they've written RRP at the top. So when my friend actually saw it, they were like, hey, kind of good power, I hear 1.199, I'm on the 49.99. I'm so very change. So he picked his phone, and I said something funny that went viral. Now, what I said was that the 199 there, RRP means that rest in peace. And the price down there, which is the Ghanaian price, is for people who are living. And he said, what who are? Yeah, remember 199. What's your idea? 499. Now he posted the video, and he woke up the next morning, and the video is everywhere. Now the big question is, the video went viral not because it is of importance, but it is what is engaging. And there is what is happening in the space that we call the polarization and the echo chambers. This is one of the things that is affecting society now, or it's one of the societal, should I say, negative strikes that we are getting from social media. It's not about what is essential, but it's about what is engaging. So when you get to that chamber, you can see that those things that are viral now are not because they are the good materials that you've gotten in the system. Viral stuffs are not necessarily the good materials that you've gotten in the system, but they are viral. Now, how do you move beyond just the views and make business out of this? Now, in the music business, you can't just have one sector working for you, but you must embrace every aspect of the music business. And one of them is one. There are events where artists make money. And somebody said that million blow here, made them not making money. before you put out a song out there, make sure you've done all the needful by registering your material with the right institutions or the right quarters. Before the song goes viral, your money is actually going down the drain because the song is not registered. So most artists are thinking about, oh, it's an go viral. It's not about you going viral. There are artists who are not going viral, but they are making money because they are doing the right things. There are artists who have gone viral, but they are not making money. Sometimes it's about you being intentional about what you do and thinking that you are a business. Say doesn't mean that you don't register your business. If you want to operate as a business owner, whether you are thinking of making profit or not, time will be digital labor. My brother, time already start business. No one yesterday. Oh, business. So he registered the business before thinking about making money. So that when somebody wants to pay you, he knows the right ways or the means to pay you. And you may have a name to the brand. So as a creative, the business is not just about you thinking that I should be that big before I make money. But you need to make sure you position yourself in the business well and understand that these are the traits. And let me share this thing quickly. Then I will let my brother Benetton actually take it on. Now, there is sync licensing, which is one of the things that artists makes money from. And you go like sync licensing here, and there are some songs that are used for sync purposes that are not even popular. It's created intentionally, and they went in for that bidding and they won. That's why some of the songs are over to say they are calf, they are not the popular songs that you know. But somebody knows that no, the possibility of the world requested for a song that will unite us through football is very high in the next 2 years. So let me create something intentionally and pitch it.
An example is the Kuffour Black Star song.
And pitch that song. So you may not have been contacted directly, but your team knowing very well and they know more beyond you would actually tell you. How about the kind of time y'all talking you could actually tell that most of the dirty work that were done about the song was from Family by my brother here. And how was he able to do that? Now, it gets to a point, somebody who has, a futuristic mindset will look at a project and predict that no, let's move it from this to this time. Because this is the right time to do ABC. And you as a creator, you think that the moment the song has actually about Jimmy the have fun to fans and say Fabra. But strategically, you've not positioned the record so that you can make money out of it. Now, the next thing that I want to touch about is the direct to fans monetization. Artists, beyond the stream, you can make money. And now, I was asking the other time, how many streamings would give a Ghanaian artist? Ghana for streaming in your power or audio market here, and I a zero. Because who go nine numbers in the actress in Kakra. And then Greg was streaming fans. And my brother spoke about the last time on TV and who are TV. Now the numbers isn't real as you see them. Or you are moving beyond just the numbers to an audience where you can monitor. Audience about maybe 10,000 and now 5,000. Then you know, so where they are listening to you from, it's okay, maybe the UK. That is where your investments need to go. That is why we are in data-driven economy. Don't just release money because you think you are releasing money to somebody to do you a favor. Every cent must bring results. So as a creative, you don't just push what you know people may not accept it into a target market you know that is not yours. Sometimes you need collaboration to tap into that market, not you being there. And how do you actually get into markets that are not your home ground? That is how you collaborate. So, a typical collaboration like Raymond and Selena Gomez. strategic collaboration because Redman's audience is not that of Selena Gomez. Now, Selena Gomez has all the numbers in the world when it comes to the top 5 most followed creators in the world. Selena Gomez will actually make that number as well. So, with all these numbers, why don't we intentionally, the intentionality is key, position the sound of Africa into that greater market? Now, they cannot jump to our sound if they don't feel connected. So, the connection was built through Selena Gomez. And now, that song is the most streamed Afrobeat song, aside that of that song by CK and Kwame Eugene, Love One Tete. So it is the intentionality. So as a creative, don't look too far for the money. The money is around you, but as you evolve, it becomes bigger. Start small. There are sometimes you need to hire the services of experts. But maybe you don't have the strength to push in there. You can actually outsource some of the services, and others too. You can build a solid team around you. The young individual. I know Farouk was just a videographer to Black Sharif now. Now he's a force to reckon when it comes to videography. He's behind all the creative works of Blacko, and he's growing with a growing brand. So sometimes you should start with the people around you, because you don't have enough to pay for the services of experts entirely. But when you see these wisdom in the guys around you, and you think you can save money to promote your works in other facets, do it than to spend money on that. Artists people are one more. Urban artists no only or baby free. But artists now urban. Or no one general, or the guests therefore they didn't.
Superstar attitude.
Superstar. Now superstar I will make. I am not against the fact that maybe that is how you want your brand to be seen, but it's about you being treading cautiously. Sometimes the brand that you are building, who needs it? Who wastes it? Who needs it? So to change it at 10,000 because you want to position yourself as now. Change 10,000 any talent, any change, any work is in. I'm not saying he said don't dress well, but be moderate in your expenses because you are not up there. I just I will be mobile invest in one. Paniema yembra. Also here 4-bedroom apartment. Here car. Here mobile phone. Then you look through it and you see that this creative wouldn't get to anywhere. Because all the things that he's seeking for is not what will propel the talent to the top, but it is what will actually be pleasing to his people. It is not people, he wants to be on top of his peers, but not on top of the music business ladder. And you would want to run to Henry and say, Henry, 7% of your artists are stay relevant for the next 10 years. What are some of the things that I need to do? And they will tell you that no, you need to maybe do a forecasting. Let's see your son. How do you do these projections for the next 5 years, for the next 10 years? Or doing guests, or doing phones, or doing my work. So all the investment that will come, whether $100,000 is going into the Papua, the target, nothing was invested into the talent that got him that dollars. And that's the mistake. It's not that we don't have money, but it's about investing in the wrong sectors, in the wrong time, and in the end, we cry that we don't have money to do what we are supposed to do as creatives.
Great conversations we are having. In community on the Amoakohene said. Thank you very, very much. Joining us is Amoakohene, who is an industry professional with expertise in music, business, and also development and strategy. But then I think this is a question I can actually ask you. Now, one of the things we've come to realize that musicians are missing out and not giving so much attention to. But then, also the second quality is about publishing. What, in simple terms, for a better understanding for everyone over here, when we say publishing, what are we talking about?
Hello. Good morning to everybody. The home part I kind of say. So this is the third time I'm speaking, no, fourth time I'm speaking at a program like this in Kumasi. The first two, I did it myself. That is 2019 and 2020. I did it myself, and Portfolio was the MC that time. So that's always been my passion to educate people when it comes to this. There's what actually gave birth to the company I'm working with. So it's that deep for me. So yeah, publishing. So let's say there's two sides of a coin, right? In simple terms, two sides of a coin. Masters publishing. Masters is the sound recording. Publishing is the lyrics itself and the melody in the song. So when all is put together and you have it on a beat, that is the sound recording, that is the master. So that is the song itself is the master. That's one side of the coin. And the other side, that's the publishing, is what the song entails. Publishing side, is more tailored to the songwriters and the composers. So if you are an artist, you are entitled to both sides of the coin. That is the masters and the publisher. So for publishing, let me break it down again. So for publishing, we have administrators and we have publishers. So we know Ghana here. Let me break it down so you understand it clearly. Ghana here, we have Gambo, right? Gambo is a collecting society. So Gambo more like collects most of the revenue that comes from people playing your songs on radio, on TV, parties, and all that. And that is the publishing revenue. The money you receive from DistroKid, TeamCore, or any distributor, that is the masters, sound recording. And that is the basic one we all know. But the publishing side is what most of us don't know, and that is what is very important, because now we've come to understand that there is more revenue in publishing even than the sound recording, because the sound recording, even see Spotify, right, or Apple Music, or most of these DSPs, they will pay for the masters, right, and they will pay mechanical royalties too to the publishers. So if somebody is streaming your song on Spotify or on Apple Music, you are entitled to both sides of the coin. So the publishing is what the song entails, the songwriting, the composition, and all that. So publishing, I don't know if is it understand? Like, are you guys understanding?
Yeah.
So, okay, so publishing. We all know the sound recording, we use DistroKid and all that. So the publishing, if you want to collect your royalties on that side, you can sign up to BMI, which is free to sign up. BMI, and sign up to ASCAP, and sign up to PRS, most of them. So basically that's it.
Right. So I know for some of the things he said, he's used the terms very well, and you're a bit confusing on that one. I clearly would understand when you don't understand that, because he's more in depth with the music business itself.
Yes, and he's talking music business.
Music business, exactly.
It's only as artisan. Now you know that you don't know what he's talking
exactly. So that is music business for you. But let's also acknowledge the presence of Mr. Safo Kantanka, who is the director of Ashanti Region Central GS. Mr. Safo Kantanka, let's clap for him. Thank you, sir, for being available to us well for this very event. We also have Miss Adelaide Bia, they call her Powers, the head mistress for Kumasi Girls. Thank you very much, Morgan, for being a part as well. We also have Mr. Samuel Atta, the culture coordinator for GS. Sir, if you are here, let's see you. Let's see you. I also want to acknowledge the presence of Kendi Beat. Kendi, Momu, Beats Baby, now he's actually worked on some hit songs as well. That is Kendi Beat for you. Again, I'll be acknowledging every individual when they show up. Now, for those of you who just joined us, this is the Music Summit. That's the first section of this very event that we are doing. So basically, we'll move into the Media Summit as well later on. On the topic, we are discussing the business of music beyond talent, and we are touching music publishing and royalties, artist management, record label structures, and also distribution platform. Mr. Bones, let me come to you. You made mention of no, it was actually Benetton, when he made mention of we lately every individual thinks that they are artist managers. Every individual wakes up just because by virtue of a relationship he or she has with an artist, they tend to take that very position as an artist manager. Should every artist have an artist manager?
The answer is no. To an extent, yes. Because, so for the no, it's just like different human bodies, different prescriptions. You might have a headache, right? But then Latex, paracetamol will work for you. I might need Tylenol. Suppose I need Panadol or Advil. We need paracetamol, but then different, dosages of it. That's for the no side. The yes part is because you need your business to be in order. That is why you need a manager. However, most artists barely make it beyond the developmental stages. I'm sure, sir, we don't really pay attention to the essence of developing an artist. Go to Mavens in Nigeria, Don Jazzy's label. They spent 3 years. There's an artist I met there last week in a camp, and that guy has been with them for the last 2 years. You've never heard about this guy. He doesn't have Instagram, like his artistic Instagram. He has his own thing going on. Why? Because they are trying their best to groom him for everything he's, bound to do when it's his time. Your songwriting has to be on point. Your image has to be on point. Even with your sound, it has to be on point. When my brother Kwame was talking earlier, he made mention of knowing all these rights, societies, and all that. But mind you, most artists can't even afford signing up. It's a one-time fee payment. If I, a consultant, recommends this to a Ghanaian artist, do you know what the boys come back and tell me? Hey, don't need anybody. You want 500, you know, money. And that means I need you. It's just like going for a driver's license. Look at the process we all went through. Just start uploading songs. They make shortfalls with the metadata and all that. All these things come back to bite them when it comes to you, asserting ownership over the song. Most artists need management to direct their path, especially the ones who are working towards a goal. The ones that don't need management have to go back and rework on themselves, because the criteria for which we look through to pick management here in Ghana is very poor. if you are an artist or you are a creative and you are picking somebody to manage your business, at least, you need a bachelor's degree holder, at least. Someone with in-depth knowledge to understand business, even for some music business, but then they need to understand how systems operate. But in Kuffour will be our medicine, so make easy music. Respectfully, you need people with background or affiliate knowledge in the field you are trying to bring them in. Because at the end of the day, whatever decisions they make on your behalf, you feel it the most. And most of the label reps here can attest to it. The first person to be invested in is the artist, but the last person to get paid is the artist. Do you understand that analogy? The last person to get paid in this whole music business, food chain, is the artist. So it's either you are going to see yourself as an artist or a businessman. Somebody is a businessman. Although he's going to be paid at the last part as an artist, he's still at the decision-making table. That is what makes him different from your traditional up-and-coming artists or their managers. Some managers don't even know how to command the attention of the people they are engaging. Managing finances, managing relationships. I want to send a song onto the platforms. Kwame will tell you, submit the song at least 4 to 3 weeks to its official release date. At least maybe 26 days. We record here and now post it to Snapchat now, boys be throw fire emoji now. Hey, boss, you person be dropping the next week. They can't just want to be dropping the next week. You call me enemy of progress. Let me tell you why the industry has accustomed all of us to release songs on Fridays. Because on Friday, the whole world, music playlist, it readjusts. Let me just give you an idea again. Every day, on the average, about 250,000 songs are uploaded every hour. Around the world, people 1.11 billion, and they will be uploading EP, will be uploading album, will be uploading single. This very moment we are speaking, somebody is also going to the studio for the first time in their life. Somebody is about to drop their biggest song in their career. Today, right now, this moment. Being intentional, being very calculated. Kwame can tell you, Kwame has tools. That's why I'm going to be citing him more often. Because with distributors, they have analytical algorithms to be able to predict when it is very appropriate to release what song. You need to credible catcher say the month of April, and I'm saying this here, really, the month of April from into your artists now dropping within any of these brackets, hip hop, Afro beats, Afro swing, Ghanaian drill, Amapiano, whatsoever. If you don't have label funding or distributor support, your song will go unattended to. Especially if you choose to release the song at an unprecedented, moment. Songs need at least 12 days to marinate. I'm saying this because metadata, and I'll keep emphasizing on this. The main reason why we are all here is because we want to make ends meet from our artistic inputs. Now, what is the point of... Yes, I know managers or investors who are facing a similar thing with their artists. Why? Because they weren't intentional. Some songs, they are good, but things mean breaking some barriers. Your Instagram page. You see how frequent you keep posting? How frequent you keep reposting? That is the same thing you should do with your music. Yes, if their sound maybe making sense next 2 months, also drop it in January, so that it can. Look at what Sarkodie is still doing with Adonai. How many of our up and coming talents? Who now we share or catalogs? What's I'm sharing telephone and our dropping? There is something we call on the streaming platforms house skits. How long would it take? It will be 2 hours. Go and listen to Sarkodie and the lights. You can go as high as 3 hours, 4 hours of non-stop music. And that is how much work they put in themselves. So we took 1 month. Well, look at the Michael Jacksons, Fela Kutis and all that. Back in the day, a young 10 minutes, 12 minutes. We are very lucky we've shortened the cap time for music list. If you don't find the right, music directors, right, songwriters, right management people to help position your song, and you're gonna find you can drop an Afrobeat song which is very hot. Spotify or Apple Music might give you a nod. Oh, okay, let's put this guy's song in New Music Friday. Okay, if your music is there, what does it mean? How do we translate your exposure into income? So it takes me back to what Mr. Bones was saying. Artists to find source of income. Most of the artists in here will take at least the average artist. I mean hard-working artist. When I say the average, a hard-working artist, I'm not making the example. If you start music and you are very serious, you have at least 24 months, that's 2 years, to actually start seeing real money come from your music. Apart from that, forget it. You might be lucky enough to have the likes of YB, Digital. Independence for it's good to preach independence, but then most of the independent artists here are independent and not learning. And it's a big problem. If you don't know something and you shut up, for those who know to teach you, it's a new moment for you. But if you don't know and you claim to know, and the ones who know shut up to listen you spew your quote and unquote BS, that is where we know that your future is not assured. Your art is going man, actually, if I cry, like no one from Accra yourself or very super. Maybe you're not a Ashanti. You get what I'm saying? Having management, they think come here negotiate, yeah, bargaining. Ultimately, share opinion the manager. Now manager, make her say artist. How is that possible? At the end of the day, you have to know this. Radio stations to consistently play your song for the next 2 months. Stick with it. And once I work 5 radio stations or 10 radio stations, you can't. Let's call a spade a spade. When somebody comes into your circle as an artist, as a creative, and they quote and unquote, don't see it as a free lunch, guys. Yeah, and they will pay back in a way they know or they don't know. Okay, fine. Melvin, please put me on Love FM. It's not been able to Love FM, volume for the whole month. Introduce you, K official puts you on, off real separate. YFM, late event, but performing free. You will complain. You won't. You can't. Most artists don't see these moments as, monumental moments of it. They are building almost step to the next stage. They're actually working managers. Please learn. I'm telling you. You have to learn. A human will be rough. And you maybe I see it just last week. And then I'm it. Yes. It keeps evolving. We don't live in a static, natural space. I have to say, a forwarding brand, that will be the brand. That's why always you can. If you don't open your mind, you close your artist off, thinking you are being professional. The way and manner some managers even maintain relationships. Be a manager. And as a manager, you should have at least a little background knowledge in how legal systems operate. At least put it in jurisdiction. Ghana now, put it Ghana copyright law. At least helping you advance for a song and what you should really use that money for. Because Yama artist this 1 million Ghana cedis. Wakoji apartment for that brand new site. Last week, I was watching Honda Civic. Studio setup or choker immorality. I'm not saying it's bad. I've been in studios, I've been in camps, I've been in moments where we created the biggest sounds. And you should actually be there to experience it. Some of these songs, we wrote them while trying to put out an impactful sound beyond just vibes. Managers, you should be able to stand your word. Don't be a yes man. A lot of managers are like, yeah, my artist pen and paper. What about your open? I don't care. So me connected with sound now. I'm good with it. Nobody was paying attention to Amapiano when Amapiano was on the rise. But the moment Ololo became a thing, everybody started listening to it. Amado was already doing musical. But then the Empire man rather said, oh, he's going to be that guy to actually stand his ground and take this sound to the next level. But most people saw it after he consistently put out a series of sounds. Yet and said, good. To a typical Ghanaian artist, a bit corny. And I would do that mistake here, as an artist. Because mind you, the 1 million streams you see today started from 100,000 to whatever number you see online. But most people don't look at it as like a procedure. So who say, oh, yeah, you drop your second viral, and I say, oh, Kenny Beats, P Prime, Let Them Be. There is this guy I also met recently, Tells. These are all big producers in Nigeria. These guys are making awesome money from their music. You don't necessarily have to be on top. And I'm speaking to the producers here. Because their producers tend to be the poorest, but they are supposed to be the richest. And what you want to do. Because most of the artists, and as a creative in our space, love to form like this, let it be acceptable for the meantime. But what if we say you are that guy and yet you aren't? Some 5-6 years ago, when I first came, I saw OGs like MC Portfolio, MCN. And this is it, maybe he doesn't even remember, but my first time actually encountering MC Portfolio was with DJ Manucho at Old Ladies, Kuffour, to go like, oh Charlie, this young lad can't take the mic. Do you know how many people snubbed me before I got to MC Portfolio? In my mind, I never go forget that. Now through that connection, I got employment at Old Ladies. Look at how like everything was engineered. I wished I was working at Old Ladies. There used to be the likes of K Official, DJ Bongo, Kosebo, Mensa Junior, like these guys, they are organized. Like yo, Charlie, DJ no code that we get the controller, what we set here, Pamano, MC, they will get a crowd, Charlie, chill. Most of our people, and I'm saying this to affect every creative here, you don't even exude that attitude of creativity. Because at the end of the day, maybe I light stage in a toast. Maybe our fellow artists, you were supposed to just show respect. You see someone you know, maybe anybody people, but unrecognizable. Bro, stop being corny. One thing that sets Ghanaian creative back is the fact that we are always sort of full of ourselves. A Ghanaian creative will be in a room, and instead of connecting with people, they will be quiet. All right. So,
Right, so let's acknowledge the presence of the regional minister in the person of Dr. Amoakohene. Thank you very, very much.
All right, so ladies and gentlemen, as I was saying, most of the Ghanaian creatives love the spotlight, but can't hold up to it. It's just saddening, yeah. It's just saddening how most of the artists or creatives in our space will tend to settle for anything they are given. For instance, why would you sign up with a brand like DistroKid, where you can't communicate with anybody? Whereas connecting with somebody like Mcbrown of YB Digital, where Kwame will put you on a deal. Now, there is no point in giving 100% of every course are currently in disputes with Spaceship Collective because Aristocrats had a third-party investor during the days of Burna. And when Aristocrats was reverting the rights back to Burna Boy, they didn't call. I'll use Aban side because it's one of the most expensive areas in Kumasi right now. Like, if you want to buy a land, it's like 200K, 300K. So imagine you have a land bought today for 500,000 Ghana cedis. In the cedis purchase. Would you just want this 2 million to go by you, or you would want a piece of the pie? Management, ownership, control, structures, one with the other. Please, there is no mistake with you admitting that you don't know. Bro, when I was in Nigeria, handling high value projects, and I have to learn. Yes, it's about opening yourself up. Ghanaians, they're too content. Say, I want 100,000, it's not between now 1 million. So why do you stay for the 100,000 to deplete? That's how we put 1 million next year. Kumasi from day zero. Look at the history of the voice in inspiration from Kumasi. From producers, songwriters, instrumentalists, some of the best instrumentalists from Ghana are, from Kumasi. As a matter of fact, if you don't know how to balance your environment, when you have to do what, where you have to go, who you have to collaborate with, you always have a problem. And if you walk into a room and you don't know, matter of fact, companies like YB Digital, IB Records, Native, and myself, Phoenix, we would like to set artists down, listen to what they are really doing. It's like you come to a hospital, the doctor diagnoses you, as a doctor, it's your own self, and you end up disgracing the people behind your structure. If I see a song, from back in the day when Amrado, Kepaluta, Stevia, Kwekuda Linton, Kwekuflame, all these guys were dropping consistently. It was through the auspices of YB Digital, and we saw what they were doing with them. Let me tell you, people music only office for Ghana has it. 1 RPM, they are in Ghana doing business, but they have an office in Nigeria. Empire Africa, South Africa, Nigeria. Come to think of it, how many distribution companies are really saddled up with us in the country? Meanwhile, a typical Ghanaian artist will F the distributors over. Imagine myself as an A now, vouching for an artist, but we're sending the whole unreleased album. But here, the minimum bonus for Kasa, they are this scammer artist. Yes, you cannot hit the account. Artist never be called you. If you were me, what would you do? The main reason why Afrobeat is losing funding from the West is because of this reason. Currently, Afrobeat has been overpriced. If you want, I don't want to be mentioning names or talking on any brands, but you know the names. The big fours, the big fives in Afrobeat. If you want to afford any of these guys, you need nothing less than $1 million. I'm meeting Kumasi, I'm going to Kumasi as a $1 million. If Ghanaian artists learn to stick to their town, bro, they are pretty Asaka, they are pretty high life, they are hip life. I feel that we'll be a Ghanaian for Afrobeats. Where are we? Ghanaian drill is recognized by the Grammy Academy. Do you guys know that? And this is because of Asaka. 5 years in the making. There is nothing like Afrobeats category in Grammys. There is a Ghanaian drill category in the Grammys. And we sit here and everybody is just looking at CMO and actually getting but we are singing along songs of the Black Hoods, the Kuffour Smokes, and all of that. Before I sign out, on this same managerial issue, artists, managers, fellow creatives alike, learn to channel your critics in the right way. Yes, if you're trying to right? You might see a mistake with somebody's work, but it could be you tomorrow. We sit online and chat whatever on our artists and try to bring them down in so many ways, and then when they don't succeed, we come back to blame them. Look at what Sarkodie did at the Albert Hall just last week. He deserves a statue. He's about to fill the O2 Arena, first ever. Do you know when Ghanaians used to experience these things? Back in the days of Usidisa, and then Daddy Lumba, Amoakohene Theater. It doesn't even happen of late again. SOBs, Soko New Yorker, SOBs, I have a source in SOBs that create. SOBs will take about maybe 100 people, 150 people. Ghanaians cannot even host events over there. Wow. because we like the people to actually connect us. Most of the time, I didn't know why you need money. Like, oh, you need about $100,000, you need that. But like, if you find the right people in your circle, you will end up like building connections that will last you a lifetime.
Right.
And you might not be the one benefiting from whatever we do, but then artists of all which please, let's not be thinking about ourselves only. Because if today you are an artist from Ghana, you are from Kumasi, you are representing the whole region first, and then the country on your shoulder, the continent follows. Look at how Nigerians embrace being Nigerian. It's only Ghanaian or Ghanaian who are unless they are bonding over language or food. Come on, bro. There is so much in Ghana.
There is so much in Ghana and there is so much to learn to as well. Let's clap for ourselves. Let's clap for our panel members for an in-depth knowledge and in-depth discussions we've had. There are so many aspects that we could have touched, but then for the sake of time and what we are doing, we'll have to shelve some. Since they are definitely here, you can also link up with them of any education that you would need. They will be able to offer you that education too as well. If you're just coming through to us, well, we want to say welcome once again for joining us in this very music summit. I'll open up that very conversation again for questioning. And we are taking just 3 questions from our individuals here. If you have a question that you want to ask, we'll give you the opportunity to ask that very question. Then we'll move on to a musical interlude. Then we are back again for the second section of our discussion for the music summit. So anyone with a question? Okay, so the gentleman, please, when you're giving the microphone, we beg of you, you mention your name. If you're an artist or a producer, just give us your portfolio, then we also get to have the question.
Well, thank you, Melvin. Before we take the question, please be reminded that this remarkable event is being televised on Ashanti Prime TV on all social media platforms. So do well to follow Ashanti Prime TV on all social media platforms. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Mr. Flenzy. I'm an Afrobeat artist. So I have this question. It popped to my mind when Mr. Bennington was talking about being a manager and something. And also when you need a 20K something to get to the upward chart something. So I was having this argument with my friend who tends to he's not a manager yet, or he wants to be a manager, a music manager, artist manager. So I was arguing without knowing if what I was arguing was right, but I didn't believe what he was saying. So he was saying when he gets an artist to manage, he would prefer using a sum of, if the budget for the promotion was $50,000, he would use the $50,000 to stream the music to top 1, so that whoever that is streaming can stream from there. I, the other hand,